folks, welcome to the Whiskered Woodcarver. I am Jeff C. I am a live, I don't know what I am today. I'm just here. So I'm glad to see you here. I actually am a visual marketing specialist and live video producer. And this is a show where I carve for 20 minutes and I talk with my friends on some random topic. So kind of relaxing, something I do at the end of my day. And I'm glad you guys are joining me. And so, before we get started, I want to make sure that we are giving away these two little Christmas penguins that we carved. This one we carved actually on this show, and I'm giving these away to the people who share this show out the most, or who do the most creative. And we've got two of these. So George is in the running right now for getting one of these. We have till tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be the last day to see how creative you can be. So make sure you enter, and we'll send these out in the mail once we determine who that is. So let's go over to the carving cam and we will get started. What's going on here? What's going on? Why isn't it switching my camera? Let's try this again. All right. There we go. For some reason it didn't come up, so we'll just reset it. There we go. Okay, here we go. We are at the carving cam, and this is what we are carving today. It's we've been working on this. This is one of the first ones I did. Little Santa popping out of a chimney, and so this is how far we have gotten, and we're going to continue to trim this up a little bit and kind of make some. We're getting close. It won't take us too long to do the bricks at the bottom, but just need to do some cleanup, make some more definition here on the nose and the hat. We'll just have a little bit of fun today. How about it? All right, so first thing we always do is put on our safety apparatus. I put on a little for my left thumb because I am left-handed, and I pull the knife back towards me. Then I'll put on my cut-proof glove on the hand that holds the actual carving, and we'll sharpen the knife a little bit, and we'll get started. So today is the topic of, what's some productivity hacks that you guys do, especially since you're working from home? What are some productivity hacks? What, you're finding that's helpful as you're working in a different location maybe than you're used to? Are there any tools? Are there, do you do some technique that may be interesting? I'd love to know. What I'm doing here is I'm just putting some sharpening compound on the leather. So we'll take a little bit more off here. So we'll just kind of, can you hear it? Kind of got a little squeak to it. It tells me it's doing its job. So just a couple more here. All right. See Avery, my son, is in the audience, as long as my wife. Welcome, family. Start the carving. Move this over here. Here we go. Still kind of trimming up on the old hat. Trying to see what's going on. So my son Avery's productivity hack. He says he's tried to work out every day. It makes me more productive and not feel trapped inside. Yeah. Also started reading some books because might as well. Well, that's one good thing, I guess, out of the quarantine. Avery is getting you to read a little bit more. What books are you reading? Hey, George, good to see you here. I'm hoping you had a good day so far. We're talking about productivity hacks for working at home, if we've had to change those up. I'd love to know, George, what some of your productivity hacks. I know you do a lot of editing photos recently, so how do you, is there a certain thing when you edit that you like to do to make it go faster? Or do you have any ninja tips on editing photos? So my son's reading The Art of War right now. I have never read that, son. I've always wanted to. That's very cool. Well, thank you, George. Man, that is awesome, man. I'm glad you tune in every day and find it worth doing. So still need to take off some more wood here around the around the top of the hat, because I really want to get that nose to pop out a little more, and I just don't have enough wood to make it do that. So I'll just continue to slowly chip away at some of this around the nose. Yeah, George goes, no hacks, just embrace the suck and do the work. Sometimes that's what you got to do. So my wife Jody likes, she's analog. She loves her legal pad. That's how she's productive. So I mentioned it yesterday. One of the things that I've found for my productivity. I mean, this isn't a big change for me because I work at home or out in my man cave where I am now every day. But I really like to start listening to and this is from Ian Anderson Gray and Eric Fisher, Brain FM. It's like music and stuff, and I've always I can't turn on the TV and like, I know some people, my friend Mike Alton like watches movies like while he's working. I can't do that. I just can't. I am so distracted. So the music stuff a lot of times would do the same thing. Like I would have my own playlist on Spotify of like, I like movie soundtracks. Like when I would edit video, I like to edit to sometimes that kind of music. But this Brain FM is like supposed to be scientifically proven to help you focus. And I don't know what it is, what kind of magic they're doing, but it works quite a bit. For me, it helps me focus for productivity, I think. And I also do what Leslie Samuel does, I always say it wrong, the Pomodoro technique, I think it is, where you work for a certain amount of time, then take a break, and then you get back into it, and that works really well for me. I had some good timers that I use for that. There's one on my Mac called Eggcellent. It was like an old egg timer, and I still use that. I'm just kind of trimming. Still not sure what I'm going to do with this this hood. Still not. I can always take off wood later, but I really need to get this nose, figuring out what I'm doing there. Hey Jim, hey, I appreciate you coming. It is a wood carving gang. Always people show up and brighten my day, like George and yourself. I wish that would be like the end of my day, but I actually probably gonna eat some supper and then do some more work. Getting ready. Tomorrow tomorrow for me is a big live streaming day. I got to do this. I'm not got to, but I enjoy doing the Social Media Examiner Friday show, which is fun. We got some cool guests on this week. So my pal Ian Anderson Gray is going to be on there, and Allie Boyd is going to be our second guest, and so that's going to be a lot of fun. And I always enjoy doing that with my co-host Grace Duffy. Just have a lot of fun Fridays, and then I'm gonna after that, Eric and I, we're going to do it today, but things just didn't happen. And we're going to do our little podcast tomorrow afternoon, and then fun at night. So my hack has really been given time blocking and using a calendar to keep me organized. Good point. So Jim, what do you use to use your tie in your calendar? Do you use Calendly or a different program? I really like, I've been using Calendly, and that lets me, I have that block time so people can't schedule on top of stuff, but it still lets me send them a link. Is that what you use? So that's looking Good. Still want some more of the nose showing. Google Calendar and Calendly. Okay, yeah, that's what I use. Have you had to change up anything working from home, Jim? Like, what are some, is there any, like, productivity hacks that you've been, you discovered from working at home? Or I don't know. I think you had an office. So what's changed up for you? So right now I'm just rounding the hat a little bit, so it's not so square. The fringe, I mean. This one I may even pull out my smaller knife for this one. That's not it. You got this little. You can tell the difference in the blade. It's just a little bit smaller and thinner, and sometimes that lets me get into. And I can't remember when I sharpened that last, so I'm gonna just do a little quick little thing on that. Oh, I forgot to turn on my timer. Oops. Maybe just a couple strokes on the leather there. Hey Jen, good to see you here. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you're having a great day. I'm just doing a little bit of carving, talking with my friends. So Jen, I know you do a lot of stuff online, and you've had to, I know you work at home, but it's been different now, but so what is your like productivity hack that you like to do from working from home that you could share with people that might be helpful? So we're getting a little more definition there around the face. I still want the nose to be rounder, so that's what this little knife is. I'm just taking a little bit, just little cuts around it to round it up a little bit. So Jim says, plus I share with my wife, and since I already work from home, not a big change. Okay, I thought for some reason you had an office, but yeah, doing the shared calendars is the way to go. Honey, if you're listening, that's what I'm saying. So Jen goes, my hack is to move around like from inside outside whenever my brain needs to break our new inspiration. That's great. And you do that. I know because I see your Instagram, Jen. And I need to do more of that. I don't think about it. I do have a standing desk, which I usually at night when I'm done in my office, I'll put it to the standing position. So when I come in the morning, it's ready for me to go. But yeah, I'd love to, mix it up a little bit more. Yeah, Jen says I would do it once or twice a day. Yeah, and she takes a picture of it. But that's cool. I mean, you have got it down. So Jen, do you set reminders of yourself to to do that, or are you just because it's hard for me to get in the habit of sharing stuff on Instagram stories, and I just the day will be over and I'm like, oh, I didn't share anything. Do you have it in your calendar, or is it just habit for you now? So this little knife lets me get in there around that nose and kind of get some more wood out easier. So Avery says I'm using an old school planner because my downfall is not being organized, and also doing schoolwork outside helps. Yes, I'm glad that's helping. So Jen goes, she does it when she feels like she needs to. See, I just forget. That's good. If you haven't followed Jen Instagram, you need to. So Jen, when you have a chance, if you can, just drop your Instagram in here, because I think you have a great account. People could learn a lot from following it. So if you can, just drop it in. Drop it in the comments. So one of the problems I have is because I'm left-handed, some of the cuts are easier to make, on one side of the thing, and then when you go somewhere else, you have to flip it over, and it's like this part's flat right here, and I need to round it off, and it's a weird way, and I'm still getting this down, and it's kind of hard to figure out the best way to do it. And so Jen goes, and right now the trees outside are gorgeous, so it helps make my photos pretty. Sometimes I do mini shoots and photos for later. That's great. I need to get my daughter. She's a really good photographer, and I just start, because everybody needs shots, and I just need to have her do it because she's really good. Well, thanks, Jen. Yeah, I've been doing it, I don't know, 2 weeks now, every day except Sunday. And it helps me unwind, and I like talking with my friends and doing it. So it's kind of like we're all sitting around my patio or around a fire and camping. It's kind of fun to do. So one of the things when you do switch knives, sometimes it gets a little, you're not used to it, and you can accidentally take off a little bit too much wood, so that's why I'm trying to be a little careful. And you get used to another one, but there we go, clean it up a little bit. So I still need to, George and I were talking one of these lives where it's like editing photos. You could edit photos forever. It's like, when do you quit? When do you stop? Like, when do I stop working on this nose? How far do I make it stick out and all this stuff? So it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. Let's see. There we go. Getting there. And then I'll take a V-tool when I feel like it's ready and I want to start adding some detail and actually, rounding out some of the parts of the hat and, around the nose a little bit. Because when you're cutting around a circle, a lot of times you'll have like these cuts. At least I do. Maybe the professionals do better, but it kind of helps clean it up a little bit with a little skew that I have. So continue to. What I'm doing when I'm looking like this, I'm actually looking down at the camera to make sure it's starting to round around it, because I don't want the hat to be oblong. So yeah, so Jen, this is what it's going to be. This is one of the first things I carved, and yeah, it's just a Santa. It's called a no-seam Santa because you don't have eyes. It's kind of like a beginner thing to do, but it's a lot of fun. So I thought I'd make another one. And we had carved earlier. We carved these penguins, which, by the way, the person who shares it the most and the most creative, we've got 2 of these we're gonna be giving away, and George is in the first place so far. So there's still a chance. We're gonna wrap it all up on tomorrow, on Friday. Well, Saturday. It'll be Saturday. That's when we'll do it. I'll be the last one of the week. So, and like I said, what we'll do is we'll go, I'll just make some cuts around the chimney. Then I'll just use a V-tool to actually create the bricks. And I mean, it's pretty, you could use a ruler and all that stuff, but I kind of like the look of it, kind of like not uniform, but it's really like, I don't know, not cartoonish, but I don't know what it is. Just kind of not perfect, I guess. I like that kind of look. Because if I tried to do perfect, it wouldn't happen. I know, how is tomorrow Friday? That's the one thing I think we're talking about, Jen, we're talking about productivity hacks, and one of the things that I've struggled with the most with all this is like, there doesn't feel like there's a weekend, and it just is like, I think the biggest part for me is when to stop work. And that's hard because everybody's home. You know, it's, you know, you don't do some of your weekend things that would tell you that it's a weekend. Like we don't go to church. We do. I mean, we go online, but it's just not the same. And everything's changed. The days, and anyway, it's just it's a weird place right now. So I think everybody's figuring out new hacks to do at home, and I know you have 2 young kids. I'm like, okay, their schedule has to be taken care of, and you know, all that stuff. I mean, mine are pretty much, you just throw food at them right now. They're fine. Just gotta wash them with the hose every once in a while. You're good. So Jen goes, I have trouble with that every day too, especially when the boys are with their dad. It's easy to keep the laptop open. Yeah, it is. You know, I'll look up and it's like 9 o'clock. I'm like, oh, I better go inside, see my family. One of the things we are doing, I don't know if this is as a work at home productivity hack, but we've always tried to eat like at least dinner together, and that's something that I think a lot of people are doing now since they are home together, and I think it's a good thing. I think there's something that happens when everybody's around the table together. So just continue to kind of round this off. And this one, so you know, you try to get better a little every time, and so I'm really trying to make this fringe like stand out and be a little more rounded. You can kind of see that I'm gotten some more off of there. So yeah, I think I'm getting to be where I kind of want it. I try to, you know, you try to experiment a little bit every time when you're doing carvings. Try some new techniques or try something else. Oh, George. So what was for supper tonight, George? What'd you cook us? He had to step out for a little bit to eat, which I'll forgive him. So that's looking pretty good. I'm still going to take a little bit more off around the hat a little bit. So thanks, Gavin, Red 11 over on Mixer. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you stopping by. Pizza, that sounds good. Did you see that? One of the things that impressed me most with Papa John's did this whole non-contact delivery. I thought it was a great example of a small business who was like serving the needs of its clients and how they did. And then he had a cool infographic. I got an email about it. I was like, that's great. I mean, I thought that was awesome. So, you know, I just loved how they did that. Let's see here. I think we got some comments over on somewhere else. What did I happen here? All right. So, let me figure out here what's going on. There we go. Yeah, Dell says, what time do you need to come over for dinner tonight? Well, Dell, if you bring food, appreciate you seeing you here. You ordered out, yeah. See, you're in New York, so you've got some good pizza around you, I'm sure. So right now I'm just kind of taking some more of the, I think I'm going to make this one a little smaller than the other one just to mix it up a little bit. So Liz, hey Liz, thanks for stopping by. She goes, my hack is to get dressed every morning like I would if I worked in an office. Not that I'm wearing slacks or anything, but a nice shirt and a headband, and I even put my sneakers on. She goes, when I'm done working, I change my outfit to signal my brain that work is done. I don't have an office and live in a 200 square foot. So you live in 200 square feet, so I have to do this or I'll either work all day or not work at all. That's true. So Liz I think you just sold it, but she had a great RV community, and I'm sure she's in an RV, and yeah, that's a good hack, Liz. That's really good. I thought it was so funny that I read recently that Walmart was reporting that they're selling way more tops than they are bottoms. So everybody's working at home, which just cracks me up. But that's a good hack, Liz, yeah. I think we're gonna, you know, if this becomes kind of the new normal for a while, that these hacks are gonna be more and more important, because it's gonna, you're gonna see people who really can kind of figure out and make it work, and then people who are, it's just gonna be, it's even gonna be more of a struggle. So Jen goes, ha ha ha, I changed from leggings to sweatpants. Yeah. I usually wear shorts. In fact, I got shorts on right now. That's what the bottom thing. Because it can get warm and hit this little man cave. I'm trying to figure out a better air conditioning solution. So that's looking pretty good. So I'm getting a little more definition around the top and I'm just trying some new things this time. So Liz says, thanks, I've been working for myself for a decade. I don't know how anyone works in their PJs. Can't be prime productivity in flannel. You just can't. Well, I wear some flannel shirts once in a while, and I can be pretty productive, but I see your point. Does anybody wear those pajamas anymore? They would always show them in cartoons with the butt would open. Do they make those anymore? I don't even know what those are called. Long johns, maybe? I don't know. About 15 minutes. Forgot the timer, but since we're talking and having a little bit of fun, we'll keep going. Amen, Liz. Jim always looks dapper. Yeah, Jen, like in Disney cartoons. Yeah. Like, for some reason, I keep thinking of Goofy had him for something, one of his things. And like Peter Pan, I think they had him in there. So Kristen says, I had a pair of those when I was 10 or 12, but not anymore. Do they make them in adult sizes? I'm probably not in the websites we want to frequent, but I just was wondering. Yeah, Goofy. Yeah. Yeah, Jen says Goofy was the one. Gorsh. Nathan, watching on Periscope. I have a pair of chap boots, but I don't know if that's what you're talking about. No, and you shouldn't probably advertise that you have chaps, Nathan. Just saying. Because I know you ain't a cowboy. Rounding some stuff up. This is kind of, still don't know about the fringe, what I'm going to do with that, but I want more of a nose on him. That's why I keep fiddling with it. So I'm going to bring out my one of my little gouges. Where's my other one? So I've got a bunch of these different size ones. You can see this one's a little flatter. And these aren't V-tools, these are more of a gouge, kind of a flat gouge. We'll see about taking some wood off around, around the nose a little bit, just to see if I can get where I want without knocking the nose off. That's the key. Liz says, I had a pair a few years ago, super comfy. Not gonna lie. I can believe that, Liz. These little gouges are great because you can just peel off a little bit of a wood really easy and control it. So see, I'm kind of putting some definition around the nose, but I'm going to go in there and I'll smooth that out so it doesn't look like just like a ditch around it. But I wanted to get some more I guess height to the nose. And I'll I'll bring the other part around it, smooth it down to it. Yeah, that's what I want. So Nathan, if you're still watching, what's your productivity hack that you like to do to keep you like motivated when you're stuck at home? All right, Jen. She goes, I have to go make dinner before a dinner FaceTime with my parents. Thanks, Jen. I appreciate you stopping by. You're awesome. Go have that FaceTime with your parents. That's cool. We did that over the weekend with my my parents and nieces, nephew, and sister. It was fun. So now I'm just, for more of that ditch I dug around it, I'm just kind of bringing up some of the that fringe to kind of match. There we go. There we go. So when you take breaks during your day, we're talking about productivity hacks at home. Like, since we're at home, to take the break, where do you go? I mean, do you walk into another room? Do you go and take a nap somewhere? Do you take a walk outside? So Liz says, another productivity tip is scheduled breaks in my Google Calendar every 2 hours. I put in a 20-minute break for a walk or snack or whatever. I turn off the computer completely during the break so I don't spend the break on Facebook or something that doesn't actually rest my brain. Those are called brain breaks. That's a great idea, Liz. I think we need those, and I'm glad you said what you do, because, I mean, a lot of times, you know, now we're stuck somewhere in the house, and being able to go for a walk, and, you know, I've been, like, I listen to that Brain FM I said, or I go in and I'll practice the piano, or, you know, read or something. But I do, since we're out in the country, I do like to go for walks, and I'll usually listen to a podcast. So, and usually if I want a real break, like a real brain break, I don't listen to a podcast that has to do with, like, directly with my business, like a marketing one or something like that. I'll listen to something like Radio Lab or something like that. I see we're getting some, it's kind of hard to see with the lights, but getting some definition in there. Yeah, Eva goes, hey, Bobsy, maybe you two should do an episode together. Dad's a good carver. He's a really good carver. In fact, but he's really been, where are they? Did I move them? Oh, here's one. He does pins. He turns pins. And so here's one. It's not wood. This one he made for me, but it's made out of old circuits, like a circuit board. And I made a couple of my friends the same one of these, but it's cool. And it's a tech pin because it's got a little thing on it where I can hit my stylus on my iPhone or whatever. But yeah, Dad made that for me. Pretty cool. Yeah, we should do an episode together. It's probably good with those. Yeah, Kristen, it's that's one of the. I made one kind of like it. That's a steampunk kind of pin I gave to pal Mike Alton. Those are really cool blanks that you can spin those from. I'd love to do a wood turning episode. I'm just trying to figure out how to get the camera in where the lathe is at. Yeah, the tech twist is really cool. Having that tip on it makes it cool for, like, your phone and stuff. So, right, that's pretty good. I think. Still want to get a little bit of this junk out about the nose, and we'll be done with I'm gonna let the nose go after I get that figured. These little pieces out of here. So I think that's enough definition, hopefully. Liz. By the time the pandemic is over, Jeff's going to have his own show on PBS. Yeah, I don't know. I sure like doing this. This is making... My whole goal is just to make me a better carver at the end of this. Because I had been kind of slacking. And now I feel like I can't. You guys are all here and talking. So, it's good for all of us, I think. So I have some cut lines in the nose I'm trying to get out right now. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna get my, got 5 minutes, so I'm gonna start like thinking about kind of the ledge that, you know, this white part here. Gonna start kind of cutting that out, getting some definition there. I'm not sure I'm gonna do it the same way I did last time, but I still need to make those lines. My knives are getting a little dull, so I'm just gonna do this real quick. Kristen goes, I think we'll all be better carvers at the end, even those of us who don't have it. That's, you know what, Kristen, there's some truth to that, because I watched carvers for a long time before I actually had a knife and started cutting anything, and it helped. It really did. I think that seeing them and just watching them for so much helped kind of help me figure out what I wanted to do, and it wasn't so intimidating when I first started. So yeah, I'd love to see people start carving after this. So I'm just going around, and I probably should get a ruler and measure and use my pencil, but I don't want to. What did... Oh, Angus. Hey, Angus, thanks for stopping by. Doing a little carving. So I made that straight cut, and now I'm going right across, trying to just get some of that wood out. And I mean, I could use a V-tool for this, but I just did it this way. I kind of like the way that looks. And a V-tool is what it... pretty much what I say it is it's like just a little, it's like one of these, but it's a sharp V, and you can actually just, that's what we'll use for the bricks at the bottom. But for this, I want to have it straight at the top and then angled at the bottom. So that's why I do it this way. If that makes any sense whatsoever. So 3 minutes, maybe we'll get close to that. Let's see. Kind of weird carving on camera here. All right, so see what I did. So I went straight with that cut at the top, and then I took my knife at an angle and went shoo, and did that, so has that nice little ledge, but then it has kind of an angle up at the bottom. So I don't even know what that's called, but it works. It's a happy little cut, George. And if you remember when I did this, when I just laid down my old pattern, my old carving next to this, and I just marked, like notched out where I wanted the, see, just like that. Where I notched out where I wanted, I just laid it down and went, okay, and drew it just like, and that way I don't have to have a pattern. Now we'll do some later where I'll have like a pattern, like when we do this bear, which I think I may do next. I don't know, I may do a snowman just to finish one up I need to finish. But this one I had a big pattern and I cut out with a bandsaw, and then I took wood down. So we may do this next, we'll see. Thanks, Angus. Yeah, a lot of people have been enjoying this little experiment that I started, and I really like talking to people while I do this, so it's kind of fun. So, once more. See how cool that looks? Just pretty straight. I really didn't have to draw it. I just made one straight cut and then angled the second one. Now this one may be a little harder because of there's a knot right there. So we'll see what happens. If it splits or whatever. It's hard, man. This is where you don't want to slip. It's better to go slow and make shallow cuts than try to make really big deep ones at a time. You can always clean it out later. And I've shown you guys the scars that I've had. So there we go. So we've got that little ledge all the way around now. Not perfect, but we aren't shooting for perfect. So it's pretty cool. Well, thank you guys so much for the kind words about and happy little cuts. Yes, hashtag happy little cuts, George. Liz says, so agree, Angus, great way to end my workday. Yeah, that's what I kind of like about it too, Liz. Kind of relaxing. Takes your mind off the craziness of the news cycle. All right, 10 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and start like we always end our time together, sharpening the old knife. Always have them sharp when you're done. Just a couple of little passes on the leather. And since we pulled the other one out, and these are the things that come with my Helvy knives that I keep them in my case. This little leather protection thing. And we'll do it on this little one too because we had it out. So here we go. Just a couple of passes. There we go. Don't forget, everybody, that we have one more day before George wins the penguin right here. We got two of them. We got first and second place. Whoever does the most creative share and whoever has shared the most, first and second place right there. So that's it for the show today. Thank you, Angus, George, Liz, of course, all you guys for showing up today. I always want to leave you guys with 4 things. Remember, we're apart but not alone. You want to wash your hands. You want to hug them if you can. Hug those people around you if you can. And also to pray for our doctors and nurses on the front lines. And with that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye now.